This strength which most people never achieve because it is not outwardly strong. It doesn't need yelling, scaring, revenge, or proving that you are the strongest person in the room. Indeed, sometimes this strength is demonstrated by doing nothing at all. You don't respond right away when someone upsets you by saying something to you. Someone doesn't respect you, and you don't fight back, you just come to a halt. Someone misunderstands you, and you don't try to change their mind, you just go on with your life. Initially, this can be confused with weakness. However, when the person no longer can anticipate your emotional responses, everything changes. That's what we're going to learn about today, and perhaps one of the most important skills of self-control that you can learn is when to talk, when to walk away, and when to say nothing at all to someone. Consider when someone has gotten under your skin. Perhaps it was a snippy remark by a fellow employee, a family member challenging one of your choices, a friend turning cold, or a conscious word of criticism from someone who knew what to say that would make you angry. What happened next? Did you immediately defend yourself? Have you written a lengthy message describing your side? Were you consumed with thoughts of what you should have said? Have you looked at your phone several times, expecting them to reply? If you did, don't be embarrassed. The majority of people have done the very same point. However, a key point to note: when what someone is doing dictates what you say, what you do, and how you feel for the next several hours, they have gained influence over you. They don't have to be in charge of your whole life, but they've discovered a button to press. Here is the beginning of emotional discipline. The point is not that you want to stop feeling emotions. So you're human and emotions are human. Anger, disappointment, embarrassment, jealousy, frustration, rejection will still show up. The difference is that you don't need to follow every emotion that arises in you when it arises. You don't have to be aggressive when you feel angry. You don't have to pursue someone to experience rejection. You can be affronted without being offensive. You can see that there is a desire to defend yourself, without feeling obliged to start a 20-minute explanation. There is a little gap between what happens to you and what you do about it, and knowing how to safeguard that gap can alter your approach to dealing with people. Suppose that someone knows just what to say and do in order to get you to react. Each time you are criticized, you get defensive. You pursue them each time you get away from them. Every time you are suspected of something, you begin telling them. Whenever they doubt your good nature, you begin to explain. Each time they attempt to make you jealous, you feel compelled to compete. They don't have to be strong enough over you physically. They have something else: predictability. They understand which buttons to push and what they anticipate will occur next. However, when you learn to stop before you respond, this button is of little use. Rather than the question, "How do I get back at this person?" you start asking yourself a much better question. What reaction are they trying to get from me? This one question can be enough to make a choice rather than just taking the impulse. One of the most important lessons is that you don't have to respond to everything. In today's world, there are a lot of temptations to respond in the moment. There is a message and you reply right away. You see an opinion posted, and you can't help but comment. You're being attacked by someone, and you need to defend yourself before they get to say another word. However, quickness is not necessarily power. Sometimes it's your speed that makes you easy to control. Taking the time to slow down will allow you to look at what's going on. You can inquire if the individual is attempting to resolve a problem or just trying to upset you. Ask yourself whether responding will help you or just will provide an additional argument to use. Sometimes, after a bit of pondering, you find that there's no point in it. The largest of all the ways people lose their power is that they give too much explanation. You give a reason for your no, and you give a reason for your leaving. You give reasons for not responding. You describe the rationale for your change of plans. You give reasons for your choice. While it may be the right thing to say, when it's right to say, it is a mistake to explain things because someone really does need the information. But it's not a mistake to explain things because you really need someone's approval. If one person has decided they don't like to understand you, then, after 10 minutes of explanation, he or she might still not like you. They can just ask you another question, challenge another detail, and you will get stuck in an endless loop of trying to defend yourself. Others don't have to like your decision. You can say no. You can safeguard your time. Change of mind is permitted. When someone continually causes stress to you, you can get out of it. You don't have to explain everything to each and every person. Your actions can sometimes speak louder than your words. You might not need another boundary speech lesson if the person you are dealing with continues to mistreat you. All you need to do is limit their contact with you. If you are constantly depleted by another person, There's no need to spend your life trying to tell them they are depleting you. Distance can be set up. When someone keeps misinterpreting your intentions, even after trying to communicate, you might ultimately have to imagine that they don't understand. There is one other crucial difference that many people overlook. Not all struggles are real struggles. There are just some situations that are plain bait. Somebody says something provocative, so she can elicit a response from you. Knowing that you will respond gives them the opportunity to continue talking. You reply to their insults, they reply back to you, you reply back to them. And before you know it, an entire evening has slipped away and there isn't a single positive thing that's resulted. Maybe you only had 5 seconds to think about a comment, but you let the comment use 5 hours of your brain. Consider the price of that. What you do with your attention, your energy, and your peace is precious. Why are they selling them to them for such low prices? Don't be afraid, it's strategic silence. It doesn't mean allowing people to walk over you. It's knowing that not all battles are worth fighting. There are times when you want to speak for sure. Sometimes it is necessary to stand up for oneself, establish a limit, address a serious issue, or ask for assistance. There are times, though, when the best thing to do is to say no in order to avoid unnecessary drama. The man is not the man who fights every battle. It's the one who understands which battles are worth fighting. Another type of energy you are potentially giving away is your attention. Consider whether another person's actions ever intrude into your mind and linger afterwards. You send a message, but it doesn't get a response, and you continue to look at your phone. A weird saying is uttered, and you hear it in your mind as you go to bed at night. You don't treat them the same, and now you're spending hours wondering what you did wrong. Someone writes something on the web, something you think has been written for you. It occurred outside of you, but now it is occurring within your mind. This is how other people can fill your life even when you aren't there. You can't change other people's behavior. You must change how much you allow their behavior to take up of your mental space. Rather than asking, "Why am I being treated this way?" ask yourself, what do you see in their behavior that gives you clues to them as people? That change is potent because it's coming from emotional surrender to observation. Every action ends in immediate cessation of suffering and information is collecting. If there is someone who is always making trouble, watch for a trend. When a person lies over and over, record the tendency. If a person only calls you when they need something, watch this pattern. Notice the pattern if someone starts to get rude when they aren't getting what they desire. Do not always have to stop and correct all observations. In other cases, it's only through time that the truth is uncovered. Repetition shows people. There are multiple possible reasons for one strange event, but far more to learn where there is a consistent pattern. That is where spending some time can be a real asset. They don't have to take a decision in isolation, just on one emotional moment. Observe people's habits. Pay close attention to what they are saying. Point out if their words and actions are congruent. And then you make a decision on what kind of access they should have into your life. This is not meant to make you suspicious of the people you're around. It is about not being too hasty and being more careful. Also, there is a very potent form of detachment that many people never learn. Walk away without getting the perfect ending. There are many people who are stuck in unhealthy situations waiting for that one conversation. They wish to get the other person to acknowledge what they have done. They desire an apology. They want recognition. They want the other person to get a better understanding of them. What do you do when that moment never arrives? Will you continue to be stuck forever waiting for someone else to allow you to go on? Sometimes it's not a person who gives you closure. Sometimes closure is a decision you make for yourself. You can choose to make an unhelpful relationship end. It is possible to determine that a repeated pattern is sufficient information. Chasing can be stopped. There is no need to stop initiating. You can call and end the same debate, can end the same cycle. You don't have to make a big fuss of it. Your consistency can be a message of your decision. There's a huge distinction between walking away because you're angry at them and walking away because you value your peace more than the conflict. One is manipulation. The other is, of course, maturity. Hence, silence must never be a weapon. You are emotionally dependent on their reaction if you refrain from talking to them just to cause them to panic, chase you, or to suffer. You have not really separated. You're just waiting for them to respond to your silence. Healthy distance is another thing. You're not attempting to govern what they feel. You are just abstaining from anything that no longer needs your effort. They need not pursue you. You don't need to worry they'll wish they didn't. Don't make them discover what a great person you are. You just keep going on. That will bring yet another pitfall. wanting to make people feel bad for having lost you. It's everywhere that you look. Then someone rejects you or drops out of a relationship, and all of a sudden you're giving a show for them to catch. They seek success. They want to be seen as happy. They wish to make the other jealous. They desire someone to ask them what they lost. But ask yourself honestly, if it is everything you are doing to alert the person to you, is it really you who are free? Are they still playing with your attention? That's not all there is to real confidence. You don't need to be missed by someone who is regretting. You don't need them to return. Don't require them to say sorry. You don't have to convince them of your rightness. You don't need anybody to validate you're valuable. At this point, things change. Your actions no longer look like you're playing a show for others, but they're really showing who you are. Another key is to never let yourself be judged on your own opinion. You can have people who don't like you. There's a good chance that someone will be misinterpreted. One of your choices will be evaluated by someone. Someone may tell a story about you that isn't accurate. You may be able to clarify at the right time, but not all people's perceptions. You will never be able to live your life if you always have to spend your time trying to control how people see you. There will always be another point of view to address, another misconception to clear up, and another person to convince. Rather, concentrate on your personality. Concentrate on the tasks that you do repeatedly. Sometimes a word is misinterpreted in one conversation, but after years, it might be difficult to fake it. You need not pursue all those who have filled their heads with wrong ideas about you. At times, the most appropriate answer is just to carry on living your values. Make evidence through actions. Let your consistency say, "Time will tell if words can't." There's also a lot of power in being less emotional, but that doesn't necessarily mean cold, mysterious, or manipulative. This indicates that your actions should no longer be impulsive. When criticism always brings on anger, people know what to expect. When rejection always brings about chasing, people know what to expect. When silence equals panic, folks know what to do. However, with the ability to stop, think, and choose, you are empowered and given a judgment rather than an emotional response. You may be criticized by someone, and you listen without getting defensive. Perhaps they have some good advice to offer. Maybe there isn't. In either case, you're not required to detonate. You can let them go and they can go. You can be tempted to be jealous by someone, but you can say no if you don't want to compete. There's a possibility that someone else may misunderstand you, and you can decide to spend your energy righting their wrongs or not. This is emotional self-sufficiency. You still have feelings in your heart, but they are no longer your only source of decision. The most difficult feelings to learn to control are the need to have last word. You've been there before. You say something, he or she says something, and then he or she says something and you don't listen. You're no longer communicating. You're attempting to win. You think if you are not successful with the last sentence, then you're a failure. What if the end result isn't the win? If you want to preserve your peace, then what is the win? Why not walk away from an unnecessary fight than to win it? Avoid rectifying every misinterpretation. You are not obligated to respond to all the insults. Don't have to demonstrate intelligence to those who aren't listening. There's no need to argue for your value when others have already determined that they do not value it. Where there are conversations where your voice makes a difference, and there are conversations where your presence adds fuel to the fire. Learn the difference. The next time you are tempted to respond right away, stop and wait before picking up the phone. Don't write the message while you're angry. Avoid sending a paragraph you will wish you didn't tomorrow. Don't take an hour to make up the best answer in your head. Give yourself time. Take a breath. If needed, remove from the situation. Next, think about 3 questions. What does this person expect me to do? Why does this situation really matter to my future? But what if I react? Will my life be better today? The answer will be sometimes, yes. If it's a real issue, discuss it. If someone has transgressed an important boundary, speak up about it. When something is serious, do something. But sometimes the answer will be no. Sometimes answering will be nothing more than adding an hour to your life. Once you understand this, silence is not a failure, it's a decision. Not always is the strongest person the one who can destroy all those that provoke him. The stronger person might be the person that can feel the anger, see the temptation, and still make a decision about what to do next. That person doesn't have to prove anything on every occasion someone makes a comment. They don't have to pursue all those who depart. They do not have to justify all decisions. They do not have to go to all of the battles to which they are called. You come to realize that avoidance had nothing to do with making the other person powerless. It was a matter of not giving your power to them. Silence is not silence. It's being silent because you're afraid versus being silent because you have nothing to prove. Walking away is not the same as walking away because you are weak. It's walking away because you know the price of staying will catch up with you. But there is a difference between suppressing your feelings and mastering your feelings. Visualize the version of you that responds instantly. You say something and another person responds. One person disappears and the other person runs away. Someone voices an opinion about something you do, and you respond with your own opinion. There is a misunderstanding, and you clarify. Then someone disrespects you and you become angry. Now envision another version of you. This version gives a brief delay before it responds. This version observes but does not judge. This version is aware that all conflicts are not worth fighting. This version doesn't collapse when criticized. This version doesn't beg when rejected. This version doesn't lose control when disrespected. You're not emotionless, that second version of you. Indeed, they can feel things just as much. The difference is that their feelings don't turn into orders. They are there on purpose. Their energy is safeguarded. Their decisions are deliberate. Therefore, they are much more difficult to be manipulated. Where you focus your energy is a choice you make based on your attention. Energy flows in the direction of life. When you focus on all insults, rumors, provocations, rejections, and all people who wish to disrupt your peace, you are letting other people's actions affect your life. However, when you start reclaiming that attention, you make space for something better. You can be focused on your family, your work, your health, your goals, your development, and the people who truly need you. Therefore, if any provoke you, take a pause. If somebody insults you, watch. When a person is misunderstood, choose whether or not it is necessary to clarify. If someone is continually disrespectful towards you, put space between the two of you. If someone invites you to get involved in unnecessary drama, deny them. But when you get that urge to say the last word, keep in mind that sometimes there is a last word you need that isn't the last word. This doesn't mean becoming passive. It is about being purposeful. You're not letting people tread on you. You are saying no, you are not going to allow them to control your emotions. To assert yourself without getting overly involved in the conflict. You can have boundaries and not make a presentation about them. It's okay to leave without the intention of punishing the one you're leaving behind. Some people will always be saying something about you. Somebody is always going to be judging you. There will always be people that don't understand you. Some will always be there to incite a response. You can't take these people out of the world. Yet you have the option to how much access you give them to your mind. It's up to you. From this day on, don't ask yourself, how do I make them understand me? Rather, ask yourself, does this need my attention? Don't ask yourself that anymore. How do I get them to respect me? Don't ask yourself that anymore. How do I get them to respect me? Ask yourself, is their opinion my worth? Don't ask yourself, what do I want to reply? Consider the question, is any communication required? Those questions take you from reaction to choice, and that's where your power starts. Power is not gained by inflicting fear on others through reaction. Powers are acquired by making your reaction your own. Strength doesn't come from victory in all battles. Knowing what arguments to not make is what you do to make yourself strong. If you aren't confident, you don't have to get everyone's approval. When you're no longer seeking validation from everyone else to value yourself, you've got a lot of confidence. Maybe that's the most important lesson in all. Emotional control doesn't make the world go away. There will still be a lot of talking. Problems will still appear. Difficult personalities will still exist. You just cease treating all disturbances as emergencies. You decide which things you pay attention to and which you don't. When someone tries to get on your nerves tomorrow, keep this in mind. If you are being pulled into an unnecessary argument, take a break. If they attempt to prove you, take a step back. If you're being misunderstood, ask yourself whether it will make your life better to try to correct them. Don't expend your life on persuading someone to change when they consistently treat you with disrespect. Consider the pattern, make the decision, and preserve the peace. Let people talk. Don't care if they misunderstand you. Allow others to underestimate you. Don't try to win over all opinions. Do not answer all of these accusations. There is no need to convince someone who has already made up their mind that they can't. There's no need to convince someone who has already made up their mind that they can't. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep moving forward. If it's not best to say anything at all, pick it up with a courage. The key to victory is not to make someone jealous. It's not making you feel guilty for losing someone. It isn't making another person angry. The true to the point success is getting to a place where their actions don't define the quality of your peace. You see, you think you choose, you do, and you proceed without taking on the feelings of other people. That's the kind of strength that's more useful as you get older. You start to understand that life is too short to be spent fighting all those who don't understand you. Don't waste precious time with those that aren't interested in you. The downtime of your mind is too precious to be wasted on those who come to upset you without any real purpose. But your peace is worth more than a reaction because of someone. You are not getting chilly. You're getting picky. You are not passive. You're getting intentional. You aren't getting cold, detached, or apathetic. You are learning to experience your feelings, rather than letting them dictate your actions. You're not escaping life, you're living it. You're investing your energy where it's needed. When the next time anger arises within you, do not immediately act. Feel it. Notice it. Give it a moment. When rejection hurts, don't automatically pursue. When someone has a critique, hear them out before you defend yourself. The next time you're misunderstood, ask yourself if what they think is important. And when the next person attempts to drag you into the mess, remember you can refuse their invitation. It is not necessary to attend all the battles in which one is invited. Don't take the burden of responding to all of the accusations. Don't need to convince anyone of your reasons. Don't try to always be right. You don't have to ask anybody's permission to keep your peace. You're in control of your attention. You are in charge of your time. It is your decision. And your response is your response. People may try to provoke you because they know this, but they no longer have the power to provoke you. They are able to communicate, you get to listen or not. They may criticize, but you will determine whether or not you will benefit from it. They will not understand you, but you will have to decide if this needs to be explained. They may turn and run away, but you are the one to choose whether you will run after them. That is freedom. Not being able to control all people, but more and more able to control oneself. If you can only take one thing away from this message, remember this. You don't have to react if you're expecting to. Pause. Think. Observe. Then choose. The best answer is sometimes a conversation. At times, it is a border. Sometimes it's distance. And sometimes it is silence. It's important that it's your decision. For those targeted, write this in the comments. I choose my response. I protect my peace. Avoid writing it for the sake of others saying so. Write it down to remind yourself. Whenever you make the decision not to give in to the impulse, you make that impulse less free to operate. The strongest person is not the one who can destroy all those who provoke him. It is the one who can be provoked and feel the emotion, understand the temptation, and yet not lose control. That's good strength. That's emotional control. That's the strength of not reacting.